And keep bringing your attention back as it wanders to simply observe the ground beneath you, the air on your skin, and the natural stream of your breath. And we have a whole hour to practice together this afternoon, so it's a little bit more time. So let's take our time. Let's take our time and set a useful intention for the practice. And the best way to do this is to allow your attention to drop into your heart space. You could even take your hands there if that feels like the right thing to do. And you spent a little bit of time noticing how you feel in the body, but how about noticing how you feel now in the heart space? Maybe you can even feel your heart beating. And maybe you notice a tightness here. Or possibly a softness and a warmth. So I'm not asking you to feel anything in particular, I'm asking you to observe what you feel. And then from this place, ask yourself what's brought you to the mat this afternoon. From this place, ask yourself what you need from this practice. And your intention, your sankalpa will come to you quite simply, quite intuitively. And keep it simple, maybe even reduce it to one word. And for a few moments here, with your focus on your heart space and on your sankalpa, your intention, maybe you can feel your intention diffusing from your heart space around your body. So that each cell, every cell is suffused with your real reason for being here. Take your time and really feel it, embody that feeling. Really make it count. And then taking a full breath in and a long breath out. And you could open your eyes if they were closed and release your hands down to your knees, down to your thighs or legs. So we set an intention like that. Some of you know, most of you know this already, but I'm going to say it anyway. We set an intention like that because sometimes we just fling ourselves, me included, fling ourselves on the mat and just kind of automatically move through everything that we're told to do. And actually yoga can be so transformative at so many different levels, emotionally, energetically, as well as physically. And if we set ourselves an intention, it's like an anchor, keeps pulling us back. It's like a focus. And it's also working at a subconscious level. So that when we come to the end of the practice and come off the mat and move into our day, it's more possible that yoga becomes a daily practice and part of everything that we're doing, not just what we're doing, sitting or lying on the mat. Okay, so we're going to come to that 9-part breath that I've been doing some mornings that I really love, just as a way to cleanse the breath and come right back into the relationship between the breath and the body. So if you'd like to take the thumbs across the palms and softly wrap your hands, your fingers around the thumbs and release your hands back down again. And just for a few breaths, just circling your shoulders, releasing into the neck. And the best thing would be to have your elbows hanging underneath your armpits. And then if you'd like to close your eyes again. And notice the stream of a natural breath, but now really noticing the sensation of air in your nostrils. Noticing the air coming into your nostrils and right down into the body and out again. A few rounds to simply notice the sensation of breathing. Not grasping, and trying to be very soft and subtle. Soft in the whole body and face. And then coming to your right hand and releasing the right forefinger and bringing it up close to the right nostril. And taking a breath in through both nostrils, really feel your diaphragm softening around the edges. And then closing the right nostril and exhaling through the left nostril. Releasing the finger and breathing in through both. Close the right nostril and breathe out through the left. I really want you to focus on the stream of the breath, smooth and steady. And then breathing in through both. Close the right, breathe out through the left. And then release your right hand down again. And take a breath in and out through both nostrils. And releasing your left forefinger, lifting the hand and taking a full breath in through both nostrils. Really feel it come into the back of your throat. Close your left nostril and breathe out through the right. And then breathing in through both. Close the left nostril and breathe out. Lovely steady stream of breath out through the right. And then breathe in through both. Bring it right down into your belly and breathe out through the right. Dropping your left hand down. And now feeling both nostrils and taking a lovely full breath in. Feel the air come to the back of your nose all the way down the throat into the chest and the belly. And then breathe out, following the trace of the breath. And then another full breath in through both nostrils. And a long breath out. Feel the release through your body as you breathe out. And then one more breath in. And a long breath out. And beginning to straighten out in the left arm here, pushing into the flesh of your inner thigh or knee, and take an inhale. And as you exhale, push further away into the left hand as you come down over the right knee and thigh. And then breathing in, come up to the top. And breathe out, push into the right side, straighten the arm and come all the way down to the left. And then breathe into the top. Breathe out down to the right. Really push that left leg away. And then breathe into the top. Breathe out down to the left. Push the right thigh away. Breathing into the top. Breathing out down to the right. Push into the left leg. And breathe into the top. And breathe out down to the left, pushing away with the right hand. And then coming up to the top, taking a full breath in. And a long breath out. And then take a full breath in. And on the exhale, you can blow raspberries through your lips as you shudder the whole body down, releasing the day's tension. And take another full breath in. Really, I challenge you to make as much noise as possible, to shake as much as possible. Take another breath in. And breathing in, coming all the way up to the top. And closing your eyes, breathing out here, and release your hands so your palms are facing up. And just for a few breaths, notice the sensation of a natural breath. Noticing the way in which your diaphragm softens and flattens down on your abdominal organs as you inhale. And releases up on the exhale. Can you take a few natural breaths? Wonderful. And then opening your eyes. And we're going to come to the Pawanmuktasana Series 1. So these are the anti-rheumatic exercises, which are just fantastic at any time of day. And the Series 1 are particularly for all of the joints. And I would suggest that you treat these movements, these very simple movements, as a moving meditation, so that your focus and your intention are completely there. And notice how you feel now, and notice how you feel at the end. They're surprisingly profound in their simplicity. So to begin with, now I've decided to sit flat on the floor, feeling my sitting bones, coming into Dandasana, straight back. But you could also be sitting on a block or a blanket. And just for a few moments, noticing how you feel here. And you could bend your knees up a little bit to release the lower back. And take a couple of breaths. Feeling your hands pressing into the floor maybe a little bit. A nice lift up through the top of your head. Only flatten your legs if that feels right for you. And let's come to, I should have said if you were on a chair now, you do need to be on the floor. Then from here, it might be a little bit more comfortable to settle back and lean into your hands. And we're going to start off with the toe joints. So we take this very much for granted. So as you breathe in, can you pull your toes towards you? It might be quite a difficult thing to do. I'm not talking about the whole foot, just the toes. And then as you breathe out, scrunch your toes. Scrunch them tight. So work into the plantar fascia of the foot as well. And then release and breathe in. Pull your toes towards you. And breathe out, scrunch. Feels pretty good to me. Breathe in, release. Breathe out, scrunch. And breathe in, release. Pull your toes towards you. Breathe out, scrunch. Let's do a couple of more for good measure. Breathing in, release. And breathe out, scrunch. Tight, tight, tight. Breathe in, release. Breathe out, scrunch. And then simply release your toes and notice how that feels. What sensations do you notice around the toe joints? And then we will work into the ankle joints. So now you are going to, on the breath in, pull all of your feet towards you and push the heel away, all two of your feet. And as you breathe out, point your toes as if you're going to try to touch the floor with your big toe. And then breathe. And it's giving me a little bit of cramp actually, maybe to you too. And breathe out, point. Breathing in, draw your toes towards you. And breathe out, point. Really feeling slowly and subtly into the ankle joints. Just a few more. Notice how when you point and you flex your toes, that muscles all the way up the legs start engaging, front and back. How's your breath? And taking one more. And then releasing the feet, releasing the legs, and for a moment, allowing your feet to flop out so you can just feel the warmth, the energy around the ankle joints. And then taking your feet a little bit wider apart. And on an inhale, open your feet as wide as they'll go, so maybe your little toes touch the floor. And on an exhale, bring your feet in towards each other, so maybe your big toes can come all the way down, not in my case. And then breathe in, open. So this movement is moving all the way up to the hips. So when you breathe in, you're externally rotating your hips. So some of us are quite open there, but then the out breath internally rotates the hips, and this is tricky. You feel that. Or some of you might find that very easy. Breathe in, open. Breathe out, close. And continue. And if you're wondering what the Hatha Flow class after this is going to be, and it's going to be the same every day, it's going to be a short version of an Ashtanga sequence. So it's quite a traditional sequence, and it's wonderful to repeat that 4 days in a row without Tuesday. And you can make it as easy or as hard as you like. And what we're doing now is absolutely brilliant preparation for that, if anybody would like to try the Hatha Flow class. And incidentally, these gentle Pawanmuktasana series that we're doing, we won't do series 1 every day. On Wednesday, we'll do series 2, which are the gastric ones that we did the other day. And on Thursday, we'll do series 3, which are energy de-blocking movements. And then on the Friday, I'll see what we do. Lovely. And then releasing. And maybe now you feel a little bit of warmth up in the hip sockets, hip joints. And then we'll take a little bit of an ankle crank here. So if you'd like to take your right knee in the right hand, and you're going to give your foot a hand. So if you can, you're going to take your left fingers in between your toes. Now that may be available to you, it may be not. If it's not, just hold your toes so you can move them. But see what it feels like. With time, maybe your fingers can work inside the toes, and then you're going to use the left hand to crank into the ankle. So I would really recommend not being in too much of a hurry. This is a meditation and movement, so really feel into whatever resistance or maybe fluidity you find in the right ankle joint. Take a few more in this direction. So because we've got a longer class than in the mornings, I don't need to be in such a hurry. I like it that way. And then reversing the circling, feeling your way into this ankle joint. Beautiful. And then releasing the foot. You might want to give your foot a little bit of a rub. And we'll take the left foot with the right hand. So either holding the toes or possibly taking your fingers in between the toes, working them in. And beginning to circle. And isn't it funny? Because my right ankle felt like it was just made to do this, whereas I'm finding it really hard to find a fluid movement in this left ankle. And breathe. I hope you're all doing well in whatever situations you're finding yourselves at home. Feels like several weeks now. Well, it is several weeks now. I'm thinking of you all. I'm going to try and refrain from being DJ today, not call out all the names, but just to say I'm thinking of all of you, sending lots of love. And then returning or reversing, excuse me, the circles in the ankle socket, ankle joint rather. Just feeling. And if you do find this kind of yoga boring, and it is possible, it could be you turn off the video and you leave, and that's fine. Or it could be you ask yourself why. What happens when we remove a lot of stimulation and we're just asked to focus in on the most simple movements? What happens to the mind? What tricks does it play on us? Okay. And then release. And I'm saying that because I have definitely found this sequence boring in the past. I just don't find anything boring these days except, I don't know, I better not tell you. And then releasing your legs out in front of you. And taking your fingers behind the right knee. And again, you could be sitting up on something if you need to. And inhaling, bringing the knee in towards you, and exhale, pushing the heel away, releasing the leg down. And we continue to do that. So breathing in, breathing out straight, and really push through the heels. You engage the hamstrings and release the leg down. Breathing in, straightening and breathing out. And keep going a few rounds. Really feeling into the part of the body that we're working. And it may be you start tensing in the upper body, and can you release? And we're going to reverse the direction. So breathe in, lift the leg up straight, and then bend the knee. And breathe out, push the heel away. So it's like a backward pedaling. Breathe in, bring your knee in. Breathe out, push away. And I find this quite tiring up around the top of the thigh. It's the psoas muscle here. It's actually being engaged. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, breathing out. Can't remember how many I did. Breathing in, breathing out. Taking a moment to feel that right leg, feel the hip. Maybe even take a rest. And then we'll do the same movement with the left leg. So fingers behind the knee. And breathe in, bend your knee in, and breathe out, straighten the leg and lower it. And it doesn't matter if your back's coming back. We're not trying to keep a straight back here. Breathing in, push and down. Obviously, if you can keep a straight back, that's also good, but you don't need to. I'm just noticing mine's at quite an angle. Push away and down. Breathing and bring your knee in towards you. Breathe out, straighten and push away and down. Let's do 1 more in this direction. Breathing in, breathing out. Let me reverse that movement. So breathing in, lift the leg straight. Then bring the knee in towards you and breathe out, push away. So all of this, in fact, you could do on a chair. You could do this on a chair, and I've taught it on a chair, in fact. That's if you don't find it comfortable sitting on the floor, at least these parts of the sequence can be done on a chair. Let's take 3 more in this direction. Straight as you come in and then push away. Breathing in, bend the knee. Breathing out, push away. Breathing in, bend the knee, breathing out, push away. And take a moment to feel the legs. Feel the lower body. My whole lower body is tingling. We're moving energy when we do this. And that doesn't have to mean something really esoteric or woo-woo. We are quite simply moving energy around the body. And you can probably feel it from your hips all the way down to your toes. And then taking the sole of your right foot, and you have a choice here. You could take it inside the left thigh, or you might like to bring the ankle over the knee. It'll all depend how open you are in this right hip. So this is half butterfly. And on a breath in, lift your knee. And on a breath out, you're not going to push and yank, but gently ease the knee down to the floor, and you feel into that right hip socket. And then breathe in, lift the knee. And breathe out, slowly settle down. And breathe in, lift the knee. Really feeling, it's like you're saying hello to that hip socket. And some of you will be really open and the knee will come right down, and some of you will be right up here, and that's fine. And incidentally, you'll know that when you do this in the morning, it can feel completely different to doing it now, 4:30, when your body's much warmer. It's much harder to wake up and practice yoga, but that's usually why it's the best time to do it, is early in the morning. Lovely. And then taking your right hand onto the knee and your left hand onto the foot and beginning to stir around a little bit here. So focus on the knee and make circles with the knee, and then that will translate into circles in the hip socket. And they could be really tiny, or you could start swooshing around a bit, a little bit more extravagant. Stirring into that hip socket. And then reversing the circles. Reversing the circles. And breathing steadily. Lovely. And then we're coming to my favourite, which is cradle the baby. And you can see I've brought my left shin in, but you could equally keep the left leg straight out. Now, we're trying to bring the shin parallel with the collarbones, right up against the chest. And for some of you, this will be enough, holding the knee and the foot like this, and you can rock your baby. But some of you might be able to take the foot right into the elbow and the knee into the other elbow. And see if you can root down through your sitting bones, brighten up in the chest. Draw the shin in towards you and have a little rock. Have a little rock. Noticing where you feel this. I'm flexing these toes, which means I'm pulling them towards the knee. That's to protect the tissues of the knee. If you're here today and you have any tenderness in the knee, that's a really good thing to do. A little bit more of a rock, drawing your shin in towards you, maybe giving yourself a little bit of a hug here, kissing your baby. Lovely. One more breath in. And then release the right leg out, and we'll take those movements to the left. So you've either got the sole of your left foot into the thigh or ankle over the right knee, toes flexed. Take a breath in, you can lift the knee a little, and then on the breath out, gently ease the knee down to the floor, but without yanking. There's nowhere to go really. Nothing to achieve other than refining your awareness. Breathe in, lift, and breathe out, gently come down. And breathe in, lift, and breathe out, gently release. And breathe in, lift. And it's really quite lightly, quite restricted movement here. Let's take two more. Breathe in. Just being quite compassionate and tender with yourself as you feel into that left hip. Beautiful. And then we'll lift the foot in the knee and begin to draw circles. So you're stirring in. Stirring in, you can take tiny circles, or maybe you want to move around a bit more. Try and keep a brightness in the chest. So I don't know how many of you noticed today, but incidentally my writing retreat actually starts officially tomorrow. That's why I've rushed to put some things on YouTube. I've put the few recordings that I had, and I'm recording this now as well, on a YouTube channel. So I hope some of you can use recordings if you want to practice in the morning or any other time and you can't make the live class, or you might prefer recording to live, I don't mind. And then we reverse those circles. What was I going to say about that? So there's an issue with the camera quality. With Zoom, I can't use a different camera for whatever reason. But I have got a good camera that I could use directly to stream onto YouTube. But that way I've got no idea who's rocking up. I've got no idea. And I really love seeing your names on the screen and being able to maybe talk to you at the end of the class sometimes. So I'm willing to compromise the quality for the interactivity. But let's see what happens. Okay. And then we'll take that into rock the baby. So maybe holding the foot and bringing the shin right up against the chest or as close as it comes, or taking the foot into the elbow. Knee into the left elbow and having a little bit of a rock here. A little bit of a rock. Drawing the shin right into the chest, keeping a brightness of the chest. So I don't know if you're noticing, but we're spending a lot more time on these poses than we do in the mornings. And really the full sequence could take 45 minutes. But we're not quite going to make it like that, but it'll be pretty close. Just a little bit more rocking your baby, maybe hugging in, maybe kissing your baby. And then releasing. Your legs down. Take a moment to feel the legs, feel the hips. You can take your legs out. And then we'll come into full butterfly. So this is where the soles of your feet come in together. As far in towards the groin as works for you. Let's take our hands behind us a moment and lift up from the floor so that you can then place yourself down a little bit more in front of the sitting bones. And then come to holding your feet. And it is quite important here that you try and have as straight a spine as possible. So you're not slumping in, lovely open chest. And then we flap. So you could flap quite fast like this, quite light. Or you might like to do like you did in the half butterfly, and that is breathe in, lift, breathe out, lower. I'm going to leave you to choose that. Sometimes it's just quite nice to let go like this. And just flap and just to breathe naturally. So there's no effort here. It's just a light bouncing without really worrying too much about anything. But if you find this just isn't going to happen, it's just very awkward, then come to this. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, push your heels together and lower. And take a few more rounds. A few more rounds. Lovely. This can be a really lovely release in the hips for some people. And again, you could do this for ages, but we'll stop now. And cross the shins. So I've got my left shin over the right. And this, it's quite a closed Sukhasana, this is called, easy seat, where the shins are crossed about halfway. You could easily be up on a block or two if you're finding it difficult to sit. You can draw your toes in towards you. Now take a breath in and find length in the spine. And as you breathe out, you're going to twist to the right. Take your left hand to the knee, your right hand behind you. So you're pushing into that right hand in order to lift up the chest and lengthen the spine. And you're looking over to the right. And you know we'll move in and out of this a few breaths before we come and stay. So breathe in, just come back to the center. And breathe out, turn around to the right. Use your eyes, use your internal organs. And breathe in back to the center. And breathe out. Lovely little twist, so good for the spine. So good for your digestion. And breathe in. Breathe out, and let's stay for a few breaths here, just exploring the range of movement. Absolutely fine to wriggle around a little bit. Every breath in, then you find length, and every breath out, you receive the twist into the right shoulder. One more breath in, and then breathe out, come back to the center. And we'll take the twist to the left. So breathing in, find length. And breathing out, come to the left, right hand on the left knee. Pressing a little bit into your left fingers to lift, find that lift in the chest. And then breathe in back to the center. And breathe out, find a little twist. Don't push yourself too far. And then breathe in back to the center. And breathe out, twist a little. Use your abdominal organs to take you a bit further, and your eyes. Breathe in back to the center. And breathe out. And then last time, breathe in back to the center. And this time come to stay for a few breaths, wriggling around, finding your range for movement here as you use your eyes to look over the left shoulder. And breathe and soften if you can. One more breath in, and then release back to the center. And take a moment to feel the upper body now. Notice the feelings in the ribs and the spine and the chest. And if you're sitting cross-legged, please change the cross of your legs. For the remaining part of the practice, if you're more comfortable in a chair, then do come to a chair. Coming to the shoulders, the wrists, the neck. It's a very clever sequence, however simple it may be. It doesn't leave any joint untouched. So you're going to bring your fingertips to your shoulders here. Elbows are out front, so your upper arms are parallel with the floor. And inhale, open your arms out, palms facing up. And exhale, fingertips to your shoulders. I would close your eyes and come into some kind of breathing in the day. Or breathing with the day. So you breathe in and you open. So pulse as you breathe out, fingertips back. Let's take 3 more, feeling into the elbows, the inside of the arms. Lovely and gentle, but actually also quite tiring. You can feel the muscular work here. One more inhale. Exhale, fingers to your shoulders, and then take your arms out to the sides. Trying to relax in the neck. I'm saying that because I feel quite tight. And then breathe in, open out wide. Feel right at your fingertips. And breathe out, fingers to the shoulders. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And keep going a few more rounds. This is more about the elbows, but you're also strengthening all the muscles around the shoulders. Take one more breath in. And this time breathe out, fingers to your shoulders, but release the elbows down. Have a little rest. And we'll begin to circle into the shoulder sockets. So to begin with, start drawing quite little circles with your elbows. Feeling your way. Feeling your way. You can roll the shoulders up to the ears. Shoulder blades down the spine. And maybe you start making bigger circles. Become familiar with all the movements of the shoulder girdle, the shoulder socket, but also the shoulder blades on the back. Maybe some of you will be able to touch the elbows at the front and really squeeze your shoulder blades together at the back. Making really lovely big circles, and then reversing those circles. So start small, stay with the breath, and then begin to increase the size, feeling in. feeling in. Maybe your elbows touch, maybe they don't. Maybe your shoulder blades squeeze on the back, maybe they don't. Finding your full range of movement here. A few more rounds. Quite warming. And then slowing that down. And releasing your hands and taking a moment now to feel the body. What's it saying to you? What's your breath feel like right now? Do you want to bring your attention back to your sankalpa, to your intention for this practice? And then taking your arms out in front of you and pushing the heels of your hands away as you pull your fingers towards you. And as you exhale, pull your fingers in towards the wrists. So you feel the opening of the wrists at the front. And take a breath in. And breathe out. And keep going, feeling into your wrists. As if you've never really noticed your wrists before. That's what the sequence does for me. It's like an awakening to all the joints. Just a couple more, allowing you to feel any restriction, any blockage in the wrists. And we're going to work with the fingers. So open out wide and scrunch. So you can go as slow or as fast as you like. It's like pumping blood through the wrists as well as through the finger joints. And it's quite soon, it becomes quite difficult to keep going, I find. Keep pumping. You might want to slow down. Keep breathing. Bring that energy right into your hands. So good for you, especially if you have any kind of repetitive strain injury or you use your hands a lot on the keyboard, piano, computer, whatever it is. Oh, that's so warm. And then making fists, turning into the wrists, just like you did with the feet, but just turning. You could be really slow. I was in a bit of a rush then. You can be really slow, feeling your way. You might want to speed it up a bit. And then reverse the direction. And if you're finding you're tired in the shoulders like I feel right now, don't keep your arms straight. Just focus on the wrist sockets. Keep saying sockets, I mean joints. A little bit more. You can feel the heat. Can you feel the heat? You can feel the heat just to my wrists and my hands and my forearms. Okay, and then release the hands. Release the hands. Take a moment to feel. And if you're cross-legged, change the cross of your legs again. And the last part of the body we'll work on is the neck. So let's take a lovely breath in, feeling the length of the spine out through the top of the head. And breathe out, slowly bring your chin into your chest. And what do you notice as you do that? So simple, and yet what do you notice? And breathe in, lift your head gently. And breathe out, chin to your chest. That's all you're going to do for a few breaths. You might find you want to, on the inhale, lift your chin a little to find an opening in the throat, but you don't need even to do that. It's much more about closing the throat and feeling the upper back and the neck, trapezius muscle, and others. Breathing in, lift. Breathing out. Can you do 3 more, really subtly, really slowly? Very present with the breath as well. And bringing your head to neutral. And again, take a breath in and find length. And on the breath out, right ear to right shoulder. Maybe look up with your eyes to the left. And then breathe into the top. Breathe out, left ear to left shoulder, look up to the right. And take a few breaths like this. Breathe into neutral. Breathe out into the side of the neck. Breathe into neutral. Breathe out into the side. And keep going. We'll just add something that isn't part of the series, but it's quite a nice thing to do, which is just accentuating that same stretch. If you'd like to lift your right arm up, inhale, and on the exhale, take the palm to your left ear and gently ease the head over to the right. So you're feeling into the left side of the neck. You can drop the left shoulder a bit. Maybe move the head forwards or back so to find your own sweet spot here. And there's something very comforting about the hand on the ear, the hand on the side of the head, at least I think so. And breathe your way. Breathe your way. One more breath in. And a long breath out. And then release the head back to neutral. And lift the left arm up, breathe in. Take the hand to the right ear and gently find your way over to the left, feeling into the right side of the neck. And it's fine to move the head around a little bit. It's really an inquiry into where you really need this stretch, you really need this opening, this attention, and take a few breaths. One more breath in. And a long breath out. And gently release your head up to the top. Release your hand. Another movement for the neck. We're going to go round in a little twist. So take a breath in. And as you breathe out, slowly look around over your right shoulder. Really feel into every vertebra of the neck. Be in no hurry. And you're really working the eye muscles. And then breathe in. Come back to the center. And breathe out. Look over your left shoulder. Use your eyes. Keep your eyes alive and alert. And keep going like this for a few rounds. Breathing into the center. Breathing out, look to the right. Breathing into the center. Breathing out, look to the left. Breathing in, look to the center. Breathing out, look to the right. Breathing into the center. And breathing out, look to the left. And then breathe in, come back to the center again. And take a moment to feel the body. Feel the whole spine, the upper body and the head. And we'll take one final movement, which I don't think we've done in the mornings, which is where we're going to, maybe we have, the best way for me to describe this is to imagine the tip of your spine being like a pool cue that you're just gently circling into a little block of chalk before you take a winning shot. And so it's very delicate. The circling of the skull around the tip of the spine is very delicate. It's not like a really big movement. And I would close your eyes and see if you can visualize, because you won't physically be able to feel this necessarily. See if you can visualize the point at which the very tip of your spine is in contact with the skull. You're just circling there. And sometimes it can bring a really lovely release and a sense of spaciousness in the skull. Take a few breaths. Chin might come a little bit forwards and back. And then reverse those circles. Now I really realise that this is very subtle and not everybody necessarily be able to feel this. Very delicate. For me, that pool cue and the little block of chalk, whatever the name of that is, I don't know, but for me that, as an analogy to visualise, really helps. And I think the reason for that is because it stops me taking really big circles, just a very delicate little circling and loosening a little bit more. And then stop and take a few moments here, sitting still, wherever you are on your chair on the floor, to breathe and to feel. After this, we'll come to lying down. Just feel the body. We've gone through the whole Pawanmuktasana anti-rheumatic exercise sequence. And we've taken about 45 minutes or 40 odd minutes to do that. So thank you for your patience. And if you'd like to make your way down to lying down. And as always, if you're going to stay for the Hatha Flow class, which will start at 5 on the dot, I'll just invite you up from lying to stand. If you're not going to join the Hatha Flow class, you might want to turn off your volume or your computer in a moment, but I'm going to just talk you into a few moments relaxation here. So I would allow your feet to separate quite a lot and just to flop out naturally to the side, and your arms a little way away from the body, palms facing up. Draw your chin a little way into your chest, just so you've got a nice release at the back of the neck. Maybe you want a cushion under your head or a blanket over you. Take your time to get very comfortable. And then when you are in the position where you can stay for 5 or 10 minutes, allow your attention to drop into your body. Observing and noticing everything that's present for you. And allowing your attention to wander freely, not grasping, not rejecting, just observing freely. Noticing the quality of your breath now. And if you chose an intention for your practice, come right back into your heart space and find it there again. And allow yourself to surrender to the